Thank you for tuning in. Whenever you get to this content, whether it's later, whether it's in the morning, whenever you get to this content, big up yourself. Thank you for the new subscribers. Big up yourself as well. Thank you for the ones that already subscribed before. Thank you as well. Make sure you share the content to your mother, your father, and everybody else that you feel that gonna benefit from this content, so to speak. Don't forget to thumbs up the content. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to comment, because that's the only way we could reason out these kind of topics. And that's the only way we could appreciate each other most of the time in the comment section, respectfully, on a positive note. We're here to agree and disagree rightfully, and everybody else have their right to their opinion, right? And all of that, right? So thank you for tuning in. And I just want to say that there's many topics that we want to cover under basically an hour, because we don't want to draw out the content, so to speak. I hope you're having a wonderful Monday. Happy Monday, okay? And I'm your host of the most... I'm your host of the most, right?
Cheesy, thin, and crispy. Cheese it snapped.
I'm your host of the most. So we want to get to actually some things. We want to talk about KABAKA. We want to also talk about actually Puff Daddy's son. We also want to talk about this girl named Janae that she claims she saw all kind of allegation, all kind of stuff that was happening. And we also want to talk about many little things that we want to talk about in one content, so to speak, okay? So we want to get to our first content. Let's get to our first content. Basically, avocado from South Africa lands in China. Avocado from South Africa lands in China. Let that sit with you. You'll be like, what? So who cares? Well, for the longest time, as you guys know, China has their product everywhere in everybody's country. It's hard for you to get a contract when it comes to China and you sending your product there. Or you understand your product overall, whether it's vegetables, whatever. It's hard to get a contract with China. Okay? So right now, for the longest time, Africa been making deals and bargains with China for this deal to happen. So it's a historian deal when it comes to China and
Commercial
Africa.
farmer Westphalia Fruits avocado plantations,
So let's get to it.
situated at Zanin, contributed large quantities of locally produced avocados as part of the first historic consignment. The multinational supplier plans to now accelerate production of avocados across its South African operations as demand is expected to increase. China and South Africa have entered into an export agreement which was signed as part of the promotion of access to markets in China. The landmark agreement was reached upon during a series of meetings between BRICS member states in Johannesburg in 2023.
That was a result of many, many years of hard work and collaboration between government departments such as the Department of Agriculture, the South African Avocado Growers Association. Westphalia Fruit put in a lot of work into that process. Our signing of the import protocol is one aspect in terms of market access and very technical in its nature.
The 2,000-hectare orchard in Zanin is one of 13 operations in the country that is responsible for half avocado exports in global markets, including India, Europe, and now China. Shanghai did not form part of export destinations prior to the signing of the agreement.
We have greater economic opportunities for plantings from the early season production areas to the late season production areas. which means increased focus from farmers in expanding their production, and local produce that moves into the hawker market as a byproduct of the export process.
Market access to China is projected to grow the sector towards positive territory. The commercial producer is confident that it can maintain a steady supply. This as the Chinese middle class continues to expand, translating to more demand for nutritious and healthier food.
This is very much a test consignment that we can ensure that we met the stringent import protocols that were set by the Chinese authorities. We're now at the end of the 2024 season, and we have a confidence as a supplier, and our customers also have confidence in us that we can meet the import requirements. So we're excited about the opportunities for the South African industry, not just for 2025, but for the future, that we can expand our supply footprint into the Chinese market.
Upon the shipment's arrival, inspections...
And not only that, the first container of avocados already arrive in China. Okay, listen.
Commercial farmer Westphalia Fruits avocado plantations situated at Zanin contributed large quantities of locally produced avocados as part of the first historic consignment. The multinational supplier...
Not only that, remember China is big when it comes to avocado, because remember they do use avocado a lot with their sushi and all of those things. Remember, avocado is a lot of some people product, hair product, and all of these things that they claim that they do, and all of these things. So when you see Africa can struck a deal for their avocado to go to China, I'm not sure if it's a good deal, but it's history, because you know when it comes to China and making things come in their country, it's a different story. So if you never heard about the story, it's a historian story, okay? Because you actually know, because of the high demand of avocado, sometimes you want to know where your avocados are coming from, right? You want to know what kind of pesticides and fertilizer they use to grow those things. So when you see all of those things now, you have to say, okay, now here goes more high demands on avocado. So do you know where your avocado comes from? Do you know if your avocados are organic? Even if it says organic? You know what I mean? So all of these things, folks. Anyways, we're going to shift from there. We want to shift from there, and we want to get to Biden, Joe Biden. We're going to go to U.S. So basically, Joe Biden, you know that there's a campaign going on. He's campaigning for Kamala, his so-called right hand. They say the same knife that sticks sheep, stick goat. And they say that there's always two evil, but you got to pick one. It's up to you guys now. If you guys know Joe Biden history, allegedly, then you guys know where to go. If you guys know Kamala history, then you guys know where you go. The last time I checked, when Kamala came in power, you always heard that she was an Indian person. She was an Indian person. She was an Indian person. When they introduced her, they said she was an Indian person. So I could easily drop that clip, but I'm just going to kiss my teeth and pass. But at the end of the day, when you really think about it, Joe Biden come out now in a campaign because they're looking vote, apologizing for the board schooling of indigenous children. Now look how long indigenous people needed this apology. Why are they coming with this apology now? Isn't it too late? Let's go. Okay. Do you guys think apology is late for something, or it doesn't matter when it comes, long as it comes? So let's get into it. Okay, let's get into it.
Present today are joined in spirit by those who did not survive the unimaginable. We offer our prayers to those who did not survive. And we offer our heart, our ibadah, to those who did, as we admire their strength. It's not surprising that President Biden, a person of unparalleled compassion, impeccable character, and profound empathy, would be standing with us today on Atham Juvat, on Indian country. Each of us understand the solemn nature of this day, of this moment, of this historical time and place that we are all a part of.
So
What makes a trailer
so
a
right
mystery?
now, he's gonna apologize to he's gonna apologize to the indigenous family, which at the end of the day, I am not sure if this is really it's a good thing now. Like I don't know if should the indigenous people care or not, or all of these things. Like I'm not sure if they should care. But anyhow,
Words will be carried forward by all of us here, Mr. President, into future generations. This is a day built on respect and honor. We all know today, Indian country is much stronger because of the words and actions and the heart, the ibidik, the heart of President Biden. On behalf of the Gila River Indian community, I introduce to you President Joe Biden. Thank you, sir. We love you. Love you. Everything you've done.
I'm Joe Biden. I'm Jill Biden's husband. God, thank you for the introduction. And to the Gila Indian River community, nothing wrong with me. Gila River Indian community for welcoming today.
he's stumbling, fumble, couldn't even say what he's saying. Oh Jesus!
I say this with all sincerity. This, to me, is one of the most consequential things I've ever had an opportunity to do in my whole career as President of the United States. It's an honor, a genuine.
You know why he say that? Because all this time nobody been holding them accountable, but the indigenous community been pushing and fighting for the longest time now.
To be in this special place on this special day. Thank you to Senator Mark Kelly, a great friend who also was married to an incredible woman who was my friend. Please have a seat, by the way. Congressman Greg Stanton. I saw Greg when I came in. He's over there somewhere. Greg, thank you. And I'm putting these glasses on because I'm having trouble seeing this. And all the elected leaders and the tribal community leaders for being here today. You know, I can't tell you what a special thanks I have for Deb Haaland, my Interior Secretary. I was Indian nations. He was serious, deadly earnest about it. It's been 10 years since the sitting president came and visited Indian country.
See?
That's simply much too long. That's why I'm here today, not only to fulfill my promise to be first president to visit Indian country, but more importantly, to right a wrong, to chart a new path toward a better future for us all. I'm also here today because, as I said, my wife Jill has been here 10 times in the Indian country, literally. First Lady sends her love and said, Joe, make sure you come home. Because every time she goes, she spent a lot of time, excuse me for saying this, the Navajo Nation. I'm worried. Every time she goes, I'm worried she's not coming home. I watched that beautiful performance just now and it moved me deeply. It's a reminder of everything Native people enjoy and employ. Sacred traditions, culture, passed down over thousands of years.
And they erased it. Take away
Long
all
before
their
there was
lands.
the United States, Native communities flourished on these lands. They practiced democratic government before we ever heard of it. Developed advanced agriculture. Contributed science, art, and culture. But eventually...
So could you imagine all of that? So now he's apologizing for all of that, right? So do they need the apology now? And even if you give them money now for their pain and suffering, could that help with all of the missing kids and all of that? So when I said about Kamala Harris, the first time they introduced her, they always introduced her, like I said, they never said she was a Black American all this time. When they introduced this lady, they said that she was what? An Indian lady. So it's just now, because there's an election now, that's the main reason why. Hey, Joshua, how are you? Right? It's just the reason why. So let's get into it, so to speak. So the first time that they introduced her was when they claimed that she was what? Let's get into it, okay? Let's get into it. The first time they introduced this lady was when? Right? They said when they introduced this lady in the past,
It's
right?
not really a surprise.
Right?
Polls showed Harris leading by double digits heading
Listen.
into Election Day. And she received more than 40% of the
Yeah,
vote in
thank you,
California's
Joshua.
primary.
Listen.
Harris is a rising star in the party. Her name came up both as a possible VP pick for Hillary Clinton and as a potential successor to Antonin Scalia on the Supreme Court.
Listen.
For Newsy, I'm Eugene Daniels.
Right? So that's what it is. And at the end of the day, when you think about her roots as again, it was this. Listen.
Well, we got our first look at the Democratic ticket in the U.S. presidential race when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris appeared together for the first time as running mates in Delaware. During their speeches, they slammed President Trump, with Harris saying he was not, in her words, up to the job. Harris is making history as the first black woman and first person of Indian descent to join a major political party's ticket.
My mother and father, they came from opposite sides of the world to arrive in America.
They came
One
from
from
they
India
came from
and-
Canada in an upscale white neighborhood, to be honest. Okay? So when you really think about it, at the end of the day, she always came out of a Indian background. She was never titled in school as in Black Indian. She was titled only Indian, to be honest. So it's just now when you really think about it, I want to say election now. That's the main reason why now that they will come with that kind of story. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we're gonna leave that. Now you found out that Joe Biden apologized to the indigenous people because of the race, and you know that Kamala and him are hand to hand. So when he comes and apologizes to the indigenous people, now he possibly will get more votes because they maybe will say, okay, he apologized, so we're gonna vote for Kamala because Joe Biden came to apologize to the indigenous people that lost all their lands, lost majority of their family, so much crimes and so many missing women. They still can't find many of them. Many of them are still caught up in the same foster home. But yet, see you come and apologize decade on top of decade. What is that supposed to do to the indigenous community? Are they going to get any better? Did that stop it from their whole communities wiped out? Oh my. So those are all the things that I wanted to come and say. Now, we also want to get to since we're also talking about politics, right here where I am, when it comes to Justin, our prime minister as well. When I think about it, they were basically saying that they want him to be removed. He's been around 10 years, and it seems like he's gonna lose when it comes to the election. So they're basically asking him to remove himself, but I don't think he wants to. So let's get into that politics since we're talking about politics overall. Okay.
Today was a very
So at the end of the day, politics all over the world, and I don't really get caught up in it. But if these kind of things have to do with your taxes and everything, then you have to be mindful, right? So let's get into it for a little bit. I'm just gonna share this for a bit. Not a big deal, but since we're doing politics one way, why not do politics the other way, right? So let's get into it, so to speak. So let's get into it, okay?
The Liberals trying to get back to normal.
Mina, thank you for joining us as well.
A Friday fan out across the country with ministers announcing new spending.
That work takes heart.
But the questions keep coming.
The leader has committed to us and to Canadians that we will fight the next election together, and that is the only thing that we are focused on.
A message echoed in Ottawa by those in the backbench who still support Justin Trudeau.
I personally think that we have greater issues at hand that we should be discussing in the media, including foreign interference.
But it's not just the media talking about it. Numerous Liberal MPs stood up and urged Justin Trudeau to resign in a private caucus meeting Wednesday. Less than 24 hours later, he made it clear he's not going anywhere.
Wow. Are you planning on staying as Prime Minister past October 28th?
Yes. We're going to continue to have great conversations.
Could you imagine?
About what is
after you know you're going to lose, after you've been here 10 years, can you give somebody else a chance?
But that'll happen with me as leader.
Anyway, so we're not going to drag it out. We're going to go all the way to a news that is breaking news that everybody basically talking about, that the 46 people that have been poisoned. That's why I don't eat from people. Nobody could do no potluck and invited me. Nobody could have, even when they have pizza at work, I don't look. You see what I'm saying? I always have my lunch because you know what, me? I can't really eat that milk and cheese product that much. So at the end of the day, I really don't eat from nobody when it comes to potluck. But let's get to this 46 people that have been poisoned, and we're wondering what occurred. The other day, sent 46 people actually to Howard County Hospital for
That's the latest on a developing story out of Howard County.
Listen.
Dozens of people became sick with reported food poisoning at a seafood distributor.
Listen.
The situation reached the point where the hospital was put on mini disaster alert. 7 News Maryland Bureau Chief Brad Bell joins us live with what we're learning about the investigation. Brad?
Yeah, well, first off, if you're not familiar with this area, Jessup is food warehouses, central, really. All of the food supply for our region, a lot of it passes through these various warehouses here. And this is a very large seafood distributor. But what we've learned is this outbreak really has nothing to do with the products or the work or any of the seafood that comes through this facility. I just a few moments ago came off a Zoom with the state health department, and they're telling me that there is absolutely no risk to the public. What happened here looks like is some bad food was brought in by somebody from home.
Did you hear?
It happened around 3 p.m. yesterday. Employees
Came from where? From someone home. Who could tell me that they're bringing food from home to come give it to me at work? Not even my food, I don't leave at work. If I don't want it, I just come and dump it. If I don't eat and leave, you know, you will bring some second plate and leave it in the fridge till the morning. You don't eat your fruits, you leave it there. No, not me. Not me. And I have that old-fashioned way more time. I don't really like to leave my food in my locker, so I would just leave it in my car and go get it at break, right? Leave 5 minutes too, and then you go, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Sometimes you got to be careful because look now, 46 people, poison over somebody cooking some kind of food. Oh, my.
at the big NAFCO seafood warehouse falling ill, one by one, and then in bunches. So bad and affecting so many people, managers calling 911.
Listen.
The Howard County Fire Department arriving on scene, realizing they needed help, calling in support from surrounding counties to evaluate and transport 46 people in all for food poisoning caused, it is now believed, by an employee who at home.
You know what I mean? You have to be mindful when you're eating from these people, Joshua. Seriously. You gotta be mindful. Right? Who could tell me they're feeding me now? After we know how to cook now, Joshua? Huh? After you know the cook and I know the cook and we bring our own food now. Please. Talking about food, I'm having some spaghetti right now. I'm having some Tim Horton quencher. And then I'm having a cinnamon bun right here. You know, more time you have to have your little favorite snack when you're doing a live. More time when they live them, you know, you have to listen to certain things. Anyways, we're going to drift from there. And we're going to head to a man in the past that raped a 3-year-old. Now he's dead in jail. Thank God. So let's get to that story quick and fast. Because at this time, sometimes these people are so sick. You're feeding them in jail after they do some kind of barbaric crime. And I don't feel sorry for him. But since everybody know about it, we're going to talk about it. Yeah?
I'm not surprised that Robert Fisher died at the Elmira Correctional Facility this week.
That breaking update was first on 13 last night. Fisher only spent a few weeks behind bars after he was just convicted of murdering and raping little Josephina Cunningham. She was just 3 years old.
News Channel 13's Tessa Ventulin is now here live with us to share what police told her today. Tessa.
Hi, Rachel and Steve. Well, the Rensselaer police chief says they were informed.
1 second, and I want to pause it for a second because I want to show you guys his face. This is the guy here, right here, him, this pervert, yeah? Let's move. That pervert now. So let's move, okay?
We're informed about Fisher's death, but they're in the dark when it comes to how Fisher died. That's being investigated by the Department of Corrections and Community Services. Police Chief Warren Famigletti says it's a difficult situation for everybody involved because of the trauma this horrific death has for the family and the investigators who worked closely on this case. Hearing about Fisher's death brings that trauma back for so many. Fisher's death comes 6 weeks after he was just sentenced to 20 years to life in prison for Josephina Cunningham's death. He pled guilty to raping and killing little Josephina.
And you don't want to know who he raped? The white guy raped this poor little black child now. This poor little girl now, this poor little black child, that's who he raped now, and now he's dead. So did he serve any time? Did he serve any time? So these are the things that I'm talking about. What, like, I mean, how did he kill himself? You just got sentenced to 20 years to life for raping this poor little black girl. And now you're telling me you're dead? So what time did he serve? What justice did the family get? Oh my, let's continue to the gibberish.
Josephina here on your screen in Rensselaer in July 2023. The details of Josephina's attack are horrific. In court, we learned Fisher drugged Josephina before raping her, then tried to cover it up, and what he'd done by taking Clorox wipes and scrubbing her face. He scrubbed her face so hard that he burned the pigment right off her face. Chief Famigletti says he wants to make sure everyone knows of the terrible things Fisher did to Josephina. Did you expect?
Did you hear this shit?
We didn't not expect it, right? It's a horrific crime. Everybody knows what he did. So we didn't expect him to have a smooth time in prison.
You raped this 3-year-old black child. Thought you were going to get away with it. You tried to hide your evidence by scrubbing this little girl's face with bleach until you scrub off the pigment off the little girl's face. You got 20 years to life and then you kill yourself like a coward. So how did you just kill yourself like that? You weren't under no watch, nothing? Oh my. So what justice did the family get for this little girl? So these are the things that I'm talking about. Should the justice system keep on letting the guard walk the floors every 5 minutes then? How did he kill himself? What substance did he take to kill himself in jail? Where did he get a rope? Oh, yo. All of these kind of things now. All these kind of things. So I'm lost and disturbed. Anyways, let's get to Justin Combs. You know, Puff Daddy son, Justin Combs. Obviously, he's facing some kind of lawsuit because of the big expensive ride that he's driving and no payment. So apparently they're suing him for some kind of payment for the car that he's not paying. And it's so sad to know that most of the time these kids depend on their father or everything of that sort. And then at the end of the day, when the father is locked up, they can't even keep up with the payments of the car or of some kind of bills that they have. This man already have enough on his plate, doesn't he? So let's get to Justin Combs. So obviously, Justin Combs facing a $190K lawsuit for missed car payments. Diddy's oldest son, Justin Dior Combs, is working to handle a lawsuit over missed payments on a Bentley, while his father remains locked up in a New York prison. According to The Blast, the lawsuit arose months before Diddy's arrest and indictment in September. So now your father is locked up. What are these young kids doing with all of these big Bentley now? I'm not saying people are not allowed to drive what they want to drive now. Don't get me wrong. But you can't pay for it. Your daddy get locked up and you just can't even pay for it. So now we're there. We're going to leave KABAKA for the second to last, because we have to discuss when it comes to the music. But not only that, let's go to this girl named Janaya. Janaya claimed that she was at Diddy's house or Diddy whatever. And she claimed that she saw our underage kids and stuff like that. Right? And all of these things. And I was disgusted because I'm like, why didn't you not say something? Why bother have those things down in your gut now and then come talk about it now? You should be locked up too, because that's accessory to a crime, especially to a minor. Right? So I don't know all of these kind of things. But she came out and have a lot to say. And I was like, wow. Because how can you be talking about these kind of things now, right? So she's saying that she saw a lot when she was at the house and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my God, is these things really real? Right? Okay. So let's get into it for a second. Okay, let's get into it for a second, okay? I'm going to go and munch on one and two things, and then you guys could listen to this for a second and then see if this makes sense for you. But the reason why I'm talking about this, because I'm talking about his son, so might as well I put this right here, right? And make the content come together according to. So let's get to the story, so to speak.
Ending like later than out here, like 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
We go back.
I'm enjoying a quencher.
The mansion. We chill for like
Listen.
an hour. Next thing you know, we load it up, like how we always do. We load up and go places. So now we loaded up on our way to Star Island.
Where's that?
Star Island, where Diddy lives.
Oh.
So that's where his freak off goes.
It's
on.
just like a section of Miami, or it's like an actual island?
It's actually, because the street has like a whole bunch of palm trees and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like, you know, I did TMZ. I just did a documentary for TMZ last week, right?
Okay.
And it's the, I seen you on the first one.
Oh, they're doing a follow-up?
Yes, because they have more information. So it was the downfall of Diddy.
That's true. There's like hundreds of more accusations after the first one. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I sat down with Harvey, and they basically, I got there because I had footage. So I gave them footage that nobody has.
Okay.
And so we're on Star Island. I'm in my snap recording like, oh, Diddy's house is lit, but I haven't got in there yet. So,
my manners, can I interject? It's funny how in the black community, when some other person is taking down one person, a different race is taking a black person, every black person come forward to say they know something. But the funniest thing, funny how Epstein was raping all kind of people, but none of his white foes came to say anything, whether his bodyguards or his this or his that. And even when he was caught, people came out and gave him a good character reference and say he was a good man. Oh my. So let's continue, eh?
So I'm not
saying Diddy not supposed to, not saying Diddy not supposed to face his consequences, but there was more than one people. And if you can come and tell these tales, then you're accessory to the crime. The last time I checked,
they were gonna lock up our phones in bubble cases. We could hold it, but it's locked up. We can't use it.
Right.
So I'm like, what the? So I walk in. Instantly, one of Diddy's sons, Christian, was like, you, come here. Now I'm walking with the girl that I brought. The other girls are walking behind me, but once we got in the house to the side door, it was a backyard, so everybody split up.
And so
so you hear? The girl that she brought. So everybody brought someone. So if he was supposed to be locked up for having, you know what? Somebody brought someone. So most of them supposed to be locked up too. Oh my.
Vibe is that the pretty girls, dudes will come up to him and kind of like make it clear, like, yo, you're getting invited to the latter tier of this party.
Exactly.
And they're giving out what, like little sandals?
Exactly. That's what they were giving out. So when the son came up to me and said, you come here, or called me over there, I'm like, who, her? He's like, no, you. So I'm thinking like, why not both of us? But okay, whatever. He's like, take these shoes. The shoes, the robe shoes, white terry cloth robe shoes. They're like, oh yeah. And I'm like, what do I do with these? He like, this is how you get in the house. So I just took them, I carried them. And that's when Diddy came, like, just appeared. Now, when somebody walks behind you and rubs the side of you, you already know, like, what the?
Yeah.
You might as well hold me and pick me up. What was you about to do? Throw me in the pool? But everybody was already skinny dipping. That's nothing. When I walked in, before I seen Diddy, I'm just peeping out everything. House music going like a rave. Do, 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 do. And it's real, real loud. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. People drinking mimosas, eating eggs and bacon in the goddamn pool, but naked though, and just walking around, and waitresses passing around drinks left and right. I was even holding a drink in my hand, and I don't even drink like that. Occasionally, but you know. So when he came up to me, he's like,
"Yo, did you hear that lifestyle? Eating bacons and drinking in a pool. Do you hear this girl now?
How are you liking my house?" And I'm like, I'm trying not to be starstruck, so I wasn't looking him in his eye. And so I was just having side conversations with him. He's, oh, you know, the prince been telling me a lot about you and da-da-da-da, like, but you need to go inside my house. Enjoy my house. And he's saying little stuff like, what's mine is yours, and all of this stuff or whatever, right? So I tell my friend, like, girl, let me just go up in this house. You know, like, the nigga wants me to go inside.
Right.
But I don't want to leave you out. So I'll be in there for a few minutes. I'll be right out. Walk up in there. Orgies.
Yes.
This going on, that
Hear
going
this?
on. A few things going on.
So wait, like the main house is the party, and then there's a separate room or a separate section where the freak off is taking place?
Separate section where the freak off is taking
And
place.
you can't see this section from the main party?
No, because you got to go inside the house. The party is like outside, and the party is inside too, but that's the freak off.
Okay.
You're there.
So people that are just outside, they won't know what's going on
And you're talking
until
about
you walk in.
orgies. You're saying that
Publicly in multiple people.
there's just like a couch, and
Exactly.
there's just some couple dudes and a bunch of girls? or?
Yeah, and naked, everything. I mean, they not pulling shit to the side, trying to be discreet about it. No, this is like they in the room by themselves, tuning out everybody around them.
Such a crazy concept to me because I have so much experience having sex.
Could you imagine? So we're gonna kiss our teeth and pause. So since we basically round up most of the stuff that we wanted to talk about, let's get to KABAKA. So as you guys know, KABAKA basically tours basically got actually canceled, and it's kind of sad because not only that KABAKA not only that just not too long got a Grammy and all of that, and it's kind of sad to know that you know
not
that
really a surprise.
all kind of things that could happen. But let's get to KABAKA's story for a second. So KABAKA so he had some shows in German, and the shows them were canceled because of So let's get into it for a second, okay? I'll make you guys hear it for you guys self. So listen for you guys self. Okay.
Grammy-winning reggae artist KABAKA Pyramid's Europe tour faces major setbacks as several concerts in Austria and Germany have been cancelled amid allegations of anti-Semitism. Venues in Innsbruck, Munich, and Vienna pulled his shows after claims surfaced, accusing KABAKA Pyramid of spreading anti-Semitic content on social media. These allegations were brought forward by Jewish organization Artists Against Anti-Semitism and the Concerned Reggae Collective, which shared screenshots of alleged private messages and posts. The artist has denied all accusations, emphasizing his message of love and unity through his music. Despite his denials, the cancellation continues. His tour is expected to proceed with upcoming dates in France and Netherlands. Stay tuned for more updates.
But at the end of the day, this is what I want to say. It's funny how there's lots of music it's funny how there's lots of music that aim to the black community when it comes to downward spiral of guns, drugs, they call B words and all kind of things, the N word most of all, and those things are produced, those things are sold. When you hide and look, allegedly they say that it's the Jewish people that own all of that music when you think about it. So how come it's okay for all of those things that are plaguing the black community are selling in the hip-hop culture, and nobody don't reign and say, okay, stop it right now, stop it right now. But yet still, if a different artist from a different culture say something, they're bombarded, like Kanye West or something. Once you say something about the Jewish community, you're bantan. But every day somebody's out here saying something about the black community, and they're still out here in jobs, they're still here in politics, they're still out here and ever have their work, like all of these kind of things. So I believe at the end of the day, maybe it's a lesson to learn to every artist that once you start to get Grammys and stuff, you're under scrutiny. Once you start to get Grammy and stuff, everybody's watching you. Because how come nobody never know he does all of these things? Look how much tours he's been going on singing rightful music, righteous music. Not baga baga, not under girl, not gun music. But as soon as he got the Grammy a year ago, now this arise. Same as there's a African Somalian, I believe, Kanyan in Canada, where all this time he's been touring, recognized they use his song and all this kind of thing. Sing, when I get older, I will be stronger. You know that guy. Well, apparently, the other day he got so many stuff, so many recommendation. And the other day he got a couple other stuff where people were calling his name in a good faith and stuff. And then, tutus, somebody came and charged him with sexual assault for about 10 years prior. So I am not sure when it comes to the black man nowadays days. And remember, when the Jew community hits, they hit you in your pocket. You're not gonna possibly do any more shows. You're possibly not gonna get any more recognized. People maybe don't want to have you, you know, to be any ambassador or anything of anything because you're up for Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Kabaka. 1 minute the black man rise, the next minute the black man fall. Could you imagine? But there's songs and movies every day that made out here disrespect the black community or culture. That's selling on the market. People glorify. People send their kids to school, buy houses out of all of that. But yet still those things are okay to be produced. It's okay to produce songs that continue to say nigga, 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 nigga. It's okay to produce songs to show black women like they're prostitutes and all of these things. No, but nobody's pocket feel it then. It's the same thing with the Diddy story. And remember what that man did? He sued for discrimination. Because they were basically only marketing his liquor only to the black race. And he said, no, no, no. You need to hold up my liquor to everybody else. Remember good? And by the time that man got that money, remember, the only way to get some of these people off of some of these things have been what Diddy was, whether he's a CEO of this or wherever he was, at the end of the day, you have to pick up a charges. Once you pick up a charge, then you have to step down. So look how much stuff Diddy step down from. And remember now, he doesn't own none of that liquor share. And after he got that money, then Cassie came. And after Cassie got that money, now this came. So today you're here and tomorrow you rise and fall with not even a penny. And when you think about all of these charges that they charge Puff Daddy with, all of the so-called money that they claim say he did illegally with all of these prostitutes and all of these orgies, he still would have to pay the lawyer. So what is this money going to come from? Same thing with R. Kelly. They soaked him dry. He has not even a dollar left to even defend himself, not even to appeal. So today you have riches, tomorrow you don't have none. So what do they all say? Sometimes it's best to maybe spend it all maybe at once or spend it as how you can. Because sometimes when you don't spend it, you end up in all kind of legal problems where you're going to go spend all of this money. So the right thing is this: as an artist, as someone that gets Grammys and stuff, you're under scrutiny, you got to be mindful. But Kabaka, big up yourself anyway. You sing some righteous song and some great song. And at the end of the day, when you really think about it, it's less unfortunate, but I guess it's a lesson to learn. Remember when it comes to German and Jews and stuff like that, they stand very strong. It's not like the black community. When it comes to the black community, we'll say this, we get mad, yeah, and the next minute we're right there. You understand what I'm saying? So there was a suburban mayor, took back the key, withdraw the key from Little Turk. I don't know if you guys heard about what's going on with Little Turk. Little Dirk, where you know, sometimes you have to call them Little Turk, or sometimes the way they dress and carry on, you have to wonder. Took away the key. She withdrawn the key. Every time these guys get some kind of key for the city and stuff like that, that's when people see them. The key from this guy because of his arrest. The arrest that they charge him with some kind of murder. And I'm like, really? Every time they end up on the Star or all of these kind of things, of all of these things. So we want to get into it quick and fast, okay? let's get into it for a thing. All right, please and thanks. So little Dirk, you know, in some kind of legal troubles. You know that he was arrested for murder for hire plots. You guys hear about that? Or maybe we should get to that before we get to the mayor situation. Okay. There was a key was given to this man because of the greatness that he was doing, they claim. Now the key has taken back. So
in
listen.
South Florida, charged in a murder for hire plot back in 2022.
The FBI.
Rapper and Grammy winner Lil Durk is being held behind bars in South Florida, charged in a murder for hire plot back in 2022.
The FBI says he was arrested while trying to flee the country. Investigators believe Lil Durk put out a hit on another rapper, Quando Rondo, in retaliation for the earlier murder of Chicago rapper King Von. Rondo's cousin also died in a shooting at a Los Angeles gas station caught on camera. Several of Lil Durk's associates have also been arrested in connection with this same plot. Last week, Lil Durk was celebrated by two West suburban mayors. They even gave the rapper keys to their villages and partnered with his foundation.
Now, after his arrest, one of those mayors is backtracking. Our Charlie DeMar has the story from Bellwood.
The mayor here in Bellwood says he won't take back the key to his village until the legal process plays itself out. Meanwhile, in Broadview, the mayor there wasting no time and has already withdrawn the key to her community.
Dirk Banks, or Lil Durk, was honored and celebrated last week with keys to the villages of Bellwood and Broadview.
And so on behalf of the village of Broadview, we are honored to present this key to the city to Dirk Banks Neighborhood Heroes.
Both mayors were on hand for the ceremony and took time to pose for pictures. A partnership with the Rappers Foundation was announced in front of students from both communities.
This is a momentous occasion to have Lil Durk with us in our communities. We want to give another round of applause.
So imagine the mayor them are saying it's good to have this man in the community, but months later this man is charged for hire to plot murder. Hire, arrest, and murder for hire, plot to backside. But he was given a key. I guess nobody don't really investigate these people to see what they're all about. Why is it, I mean, I say there's no other community in crime. There's a lot of other communities who are in crime. But why is it that when the black community gets some kind of money, it's always guns and some kind of nonsense when we don't make guns? When other people have showcase of guns in their home and you don't hear about it. Oh my.
But the symbolic gesture was met with backlash even before news of Lil Durk's latest arrest on murder for hire charges.
So are we glorifying that, or are we saying that that's okay? He's not even from this. He's from the South Side.
Broadview Mayor Katrina Thompson defended her decision to give Lil Durk the key to the village at a board meeting earlier this week.
I am a mayor, and I'm proud to have made that connection.
It just doesn't send the best message to our residents, to our community.
Angela Patterson is running for mayor in Broadview. Janelle Moreland is the current village clerk in Bellwood and a mayoral candidate.
You know, so what about the people that have been active in our communities, that have done some great things in our communities?
After Lil Durk was arrested in Florida, Broadview's mayor withdrew the honor, saying in part, as mayor, protecting Broadview's interests and upholding the values of residents is job number one.
I do think it's too late. I think we should have not given him the key from the very beginning.
Bellwood's mayor says
that
he was surprised.
at times when you really think about it, people just give the key. Sometime when you do a big donation, you maybe get the key and recognize to say, okay, you're doing something great. But it's so sad though to know little kids are watching, you're setting an example, and now you're charged, although people are innocent until they're proven guilty, and all of these things. But let's, anyway, since we're talking about hire to plot to murder, hire plot murder, or we're talking about court, let's get to obviously let's get to Little Thug. So apparently there's been so many obstacles in Little Thug trial. Remember, they locked up the lawyer. Remember, they locked up the other lawyer for prescription drugs. Remember that they kicked off the judge because the judge was having a partake meetings with the other lawyer, with the prosecutor and other people without Young Thug lawyer and all of that. I just call him Little Thug because he's Little Thug now, because he's caught up and never got bail for the longest time. But we know that he's Young Thug. So apparently it seems like there's going to be a mistrial. So since we're talking about that kind of case and we're talking about Little Dirk, might as well we go and face up and go all the way to almost a mistrial delayed calls for mistrial when it comes to the YSL trial. Young Thug delayed. This has been in a long ass case. So let's get into it.
I love the lies. Liza Lucas
Okay.
is live at the Fulton County Courthouse with what we know right now. Liza, the days just keep ticking here.
Listen.
That's right. And this morning, what we can tell you for sure is that attorneys with the state, as well as several attorneys for the defense, were here right on time at 9 a.m., presumably for a meeting with the judge. One attorney basically telling 11 Alive that meeting was like the equivalent of an in-chambers meeting, so the public was not allowed into the room. But there's anticipation that court could resume this afternoon. We're very much
okay. So this is what again? So let's get to the other part. Okay. Let's get to the other part, people. Like I said, it's possible there's going to be a mistrial. From Little Woody did come and say all kind of things. What they were doing to him, it was wrong. From they took off the judge off the case, they should have had a mistrial from the longest time. But anyway, let's get to it.
Racketeering trial as she considers declaring a mistrial. This comes after another misstep in court yesterday by prosecutors. Fox 5's Eric Perry is live outside the Fulton County Courthouse with the latest on this case. Eric.
Yeah, this case for the past 10, 11 months.
What did I say?
So while Superior Court Judge Paige Whitaker considers a mistrial in this case, I'm told defense attorneys here are possibly talking with District Attorney Bonnie Willis for potential plea deals.
See?
What I'm trying to do is fix your sloppiness.
A seemingly annoyed judge as the drama in the YSL case continues.
Now the jury has repeatedly heard about Mr. Nichols being in jail, being in prison, and you cannot unring that bell. We would ask for a mistrial.
These were the moments Wednesday from defense attorneys after one of the defendants on the stand said a name that the jury was not supposed to hear.
You hear?
Judge Paige Whitaker says she is weighing the motion to declare a mistrial without prejudice, which means the state could retry the case.
So that everybody won't have wasted, 10, 12 months of their lives in this trial.
We're at a dramatic inflection point, and
look how much this man's rights has been violated over and over with the judge, with the prosecutor, and they still never let him out, and they still continue with the trial no matter what. I know we're going to have a mistrial. So when you guys think that the system was corrupted against Vice Cartel, well, this is a case that was so corrupted. From the judge that they kick off the case, now to this prosecutor, to all of the people and the witnesses that they came and taught. They did all kind of deals. They came and shouted out. They threatened to lock up the witnesses. They lock up the lawyers. Bro, I don't know what blood, which animal blood this man is drinking. I don't know who's on this boy's side. But if this man walk, it's a history in history. Seriously.
I personally believe we've seen the last day of trial in YSL. I talked with longtime Atlanta attorney Joshua Schiffer about the roller coaster of problems the trial has seen, from illnesses to attorneys and jurors being arrested, defendants stabbed, and even a judge being removed.
See?
Between the number of defendants involved and the extraordinary caliber of lawyering that we are all getting to witness, there may be no finer example of aggressive prosecution and defense in the state of Georgia. Schiffer says District Attorney Willis is for sure feeling the pressure, as she is assured.
Could you imagine, people? So we're not even going to drag that out, to be honest. I'm really not going to drag it out. But could you just imagine that the amount of things they're doing to lock up this guy when they know the case is a little bit weak? Because the reason what placed Young Thug at the scene or the crime is because he rented a rent-a-car, and the rent-a-car was able, they claim, did a murder, and they claim they heard some kind of jail calls and all kind of calls and all the informant and all of these kind of things. So I'm going to give you guys a break so we can get to our last content, Black people and their finest. Okay, break. Okay, guys, so let's get to Anna and her baby father saga, right? And we want to get to, like I said, black people and their finest, okay? And when you really think about it, it's kind of sad to know at the end of the day, you know, there's not too much there's not too much people on the internet to give advice when it comes to Anna. We see how many there's not so much good relationship on the internet that Anna really want to mimic, especially in the ghetto. She's not gonna look to the uptown people them to mimic their relationship and said, okay, well, look at this family and look at that little family, and that they're gonna say it's uptown people and uptown people don't have the troubles that they do and all the excuses, right? But when you really think about it again, it's kind of sad to know that she's pregnant, and I guess that at the end of the day, you know, sometimes people have to learn their own lessons, but we'll get into it, okay? So let's get to black people and their finest content, so to speak, because at the end of the day, it's crazy, and this is our last topic, and thank you for tuning in, okay? Thank you for tuning in, you folks. So let's get there. Okay, so like I said, so they claim say Anna and her baby father, yes, had some disagreement, or they were fighting or getting abuse, right?
Microwave.
So let's get into it.
Yeah. Because she contact with her sisters, right? So me hear like she talk like you don't want to hurt her. I'm not saying that happening. No, me I tell you what me hear.
Nobody wants to hurt Anna. Daniel make people who don't want to slap Anna too. Nobody want to hurt Anna because whenever people are talking to them, me and they open up.
Me not lie. You see when me say what go
Anna too. Nobody want to hurt.
Building. You understand me? Me can tell you say the boy run her. Me can tell you say the boy still there with him white girl, and the boy a user. Me know everything, but me no want my own daughter kill me. Me afraid of her. Me don't know what it do.
Just forgive her and say if you can come here because the boy they go hurt her. I mean, I want him hurt the little girl, brother. I show him come out and talk certain things. Let me diss him back on TikTok, you know, man.
Yeah.
Man plan up get
me don't know him.
But you need to forgive
me. No, because she go defend the boy to the teeth. You see, like how you can talk right now, and you're saying that you didn't look out for her, don't?
Yes.
And after you look out for her, she turn one back on you, right? For the boy, don't?
She said she run me and shit up pussy me for move, and them go up on them live last night. How me baby father look her. That's why me have so much strength for her and all those shit. So they say like, really, Hannah?
So the same thing me I say to you, say if me go for her right now, she go turn pon me. You understand me? So me leave confused, me don't know what to do. Because she will make that same boy that try to lick me and me stab him.
Him can't lick you.
You understand me? Can me come up this and the boy they rush me. Me I tell you me I go to prison and me pity them to live for.
And him can't
you understand?
Lick you.
No way we there.
No way we there. Him can't lick you where we there. Just say if you can come for your daughter, please, because the boy go kill her. Right now she out there, so somebody just tell me so she out there, so in the building. Why Anna do that to herself?
I know say she out there. Me have couple link up there we watch and make me know what go on. Me know exactly where she there right now.
So we're not gonna drag it out. I'm assuming that you guys hear this nonsense and realize what is going on. As a mother that I have my children and stuff like that, I mean, at least you at times you gotta take account of your action growing these children. Now, these children grow rough as Kanta Annie. As Kanta Annie, they grow rough because she want to look after them. She used to do sell so and so. She kind of stopped. She tried to do some kind of business. Most of the time in a workout, she was working somewhere else. She bought her make she lose her job and all of these kind of things. So if you live in a one home with your mother, you're not really working a steady job, you don't see no father coming to bring you anything or bring your mom anything. You have age now that you should realize now, like the Indian kids, the Chinese kids, and some of these other black kids, some other than the black kids, them, some of these other nation, most of the time they work and help their parents. So you see your mother struggling all this time, struggling to put a roof over her head. The other day, she moved somewhere to get a better place for you guys to live or the other siblings to live. She ended up moved back to the place that is not even that finished. That's why you guys cannot stay with her. You guys have to come sometime and leave because the place is not finished. That's how she claimed. So if my mom start a foundation, if I really don't have anywhere to live, would I go and get pregnant? Knowing that Jamaica is a third world country that you really don't get handouts almost, where most of these black women portray in the country, in many countries. Remember, they have government housing in the Caribbean, but those are sometimes old folks get that, or sometimes the Andrew Holness, you have to put him on a block, or maybe come on the internet and tell him some kind of story for him to say, okay, people are watching now, so let me go give you one of those homes. Most likely you have to be out there paying rent, or most likely you would have to go build up a little place and the capture land. So my thing is, if you come out of separation and you know you hardly can feed yourself and you hardly have nowhere to live, would you go and get pregnant? And then my next question is, what kind of conversation Annie have with her little children, her little girls, about safe sex and birth control until they can fend for themselves? You guys don't have those kind of conversation with you guys' daughters? Or just have boyfriend? Have you know what with condom and think condom is safe? Or have you know what without no condom and then baby come after? And then we come and TikTok to come and beg whether we have to fight, whether he must beat me, whether he have to slap me and all of that. My next thing is, did Annie ever set any example for Anna when it comes to relationship? She ever fight for man? The last conversation and the last situation was her that boy send out a porn video, she and that boy. It's gonna be on the internet forever. The other day again, she and the boy, she take back the boy after the boy disgraced her and tell her how much underneath her private part smells. Most of the boyfriend them that Annie had, she fought with. So what example you could have give Anna? How can you tell Anna now not to evil talk to someone, especially now that she's having a baby for the person? And if Anna leave from Rona, her boyfriend, and come have Anna and Annie yard, is she safe? Isn't it the same bacchanal? Isn't the same craziness? Isn't the same fight, cuss? So basically, she don't have no level head. There's no safe haven. So she rather to stay around the boy, the baby daddy. Right? Like most of you women, a lot of you women, baby daddy treating about you pregnancy and still end up with baby daddy. And still end up with more than one children. That's why right now in UK, they stop give second to third babies now money because maybe some of all of these kind of shit. So who was, you see, Ivan is the next big example. That she fought with the boyfriend and fought with Keno and fought with everybody and still everybody's still a top on roses her. Everybody's still a big up. Everybody's saying that she's a sensational. So if everybody else is doing all of those kind of things, then you have Queenie and Dewey's situation if F fight and funeral. And when I see all of that play out on the internet. So who else in the ghetto who have ghetto relationship is showing this little girl how to have a ghetto relationship? Because if you say, okay, you have the Mitchells or you have the Powells or you have all of those people that are live them life and are going with them life and no fighting on the internet, so to speak. We don't know if they fight behind doors because no relationship is not perfect, but you can use them as an example how to be to have a good relationship. Not only that, I guess you guys forgot the meaning of a baby daddy. Baby daddy don't bring no responsibility. Do you guys know the meaning of a baby daddy? Or would you guys want us to look up the meaning of a baby daddy? So if he's a baby daddy, he's doing what he's supposed to do because that's the title of a baby daddy. Just the father of your child. There's no responsibility really come with it, to be honest. Unless that guy want to be a real man. And then, okay, come now. So she said it's the baby daddy, right? Okay. The biological father of a child A baby daddy is the biological father of a child, usually when he's not in a relationship with the mother and not actively, right? See there? Raising the child. See there? Look. So if the father is not around really people, look. And if he's around and you consider him as baby daddy, then he's doing what baby daddy is doing. Because if he's not actively raising the child, as what this says, actively raising the child, see? Doesn't mean if he's not there, and he sit there like the baby daddy that you guys claim he is, then he doesn't have to give her anything. Because here comes TikTok, here comes Amazon registry, here comes all of these things, what you guys do for people, and give them everything that they need with the child. Right? And there's nobody on the internet really to give Anna any example of how you be a baby mother and baby father. Be a fight, be a cuss. Be a fight, be a cuss. You understand? Same thing as Annie's son, baby mother again. He saw his mom struggle to raise them. That same Aunt Anna saw how her mother struggle, or sometimes the mother have to give that boy something. And you see how your mom at times, that girl Chanel have the baby them down there as well. And then you try to tell me, say, I have 2 big kids in the house, other than the rest of the siblings. And all they can do is get up and breed people. They don't get to go find a good work. They don't get up to say, we can finish the house and live somewhere proper before we go bring other children. So is this the Stockholm syndrome you guys have? I just don't care, want to live and come bring young baby in. Oh, Jesus. So I can't blame a lot, eh? So the goose, so the gander. Okay? This is what's going on here, and I can't get into it anyway. But like I said, people, I'm going to wrap up this live. I got to run anyway. But like I said, at the end of the day, we're going to be mindful. And we're going to be mindful, again, what we're preaching when it comes to these young girls. And when you're in poverty, and you're already in poverty, right? You're not supposed to come have a child again now in poverty. You're supposed to make sure that things are right with you first before. I can't tell nobody not to have any children. Oh dear me. Why would I say that? Right? But when you really think about it, we have to be mindful, right? To know that when things are not right, and we know that we're suffering already, so we cannot bring a life in the world when we're suffering and things until things are better. Moving from her baby father saga to one other mother saga. You guys remember Gabrielle? Remember her who started in Precious? Remember she had 4-month-old babies? Remember she had some twins the other day. So big her up, Steve. She had her babies and their twins. Okay, folks, if you never know, remember she was in the movie Precious? There's her baby twins. So I have to shout that out. Okay, guys? So at the end of the day, when you really think about it, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to share this content. Don't forget to like the content. Don't forget to comment, or we can discuss these content some more. Don't forget to share the content to your mother, your father, and everybody that you see fit would enjoy this content, because this content has every little bit for everybody else, whether the young, the poor, the bad, the good, and the ugly in this content. So make sure at the end of the day, like I said, like, subscribe, and don't forget to thumbs up the video, because I work where I work and I'm a chicken where I jerk. And your host of the most. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Peace and love. And your host of the most. See you guys next time. Bye for now.